In terms of culture, of course, people forms part of the what we call tourism attraction, whether globally or also Namibia. But of course, we have culture with our San community, the Bahimba people, Wairero people, the Awambo people's culture, the Kavango people in the Zambezi, people in the south, the Nama culture, and all the aspects of our culture in Namibia overall. We get to mention that is the diversity of our cultural heritage. And on the natural beauty, of course, Namibia remains one of the best areas for stargazing because the sky is dark and no sky is pollution, so you get to see at night or view or watch stargazing. One of the best areas in the world, actually. We're speaking about our Namib Sea, which is the area of Sossusvlei in the Namib Park, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, where you can see, of course, the aspects of the dead flay, the highest concentration of St. June's, and of course, we're speaking about abundance of wildlife, the national parks, but also wildlife viewing in terms of the big fives of Africa that's there in Namibia. We're talking about the coastal line, the adventure activities in the coast, both Wolfish Bay and Swakopmund, the Sandwich Harbour, best place to view, the areas where the Namib Sea, of course, matches the Atlantic Ocean. Of course, we're mentioning the wetlands, we're mentioning the Fish River Canyon, and all other areas really, and the entire landscapes of the beautiful Namibia, and all these aspects that we're highlighting. But again, when you look at the people from Indonesia, what may be interesting to them is basically our wildlife, which is your safaris and wildlife viewing. So your national parks becomes core and key in that offering. Then your Sossusvlei becomes an offering, of Fish River Canyon becomes an offering. Tweefontein, which is also the UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is one of the oldest paintings in Namibia over there, and many other aspects. But the safari comes on top, of course, the culture. People are asking about the local cuisines, the dishes, the local drinks, and so on. So these are the offerings that they will be interested in, and they want to come and see or experience when they come over to Namibia.
So how has the response been so far from international attendees at your exhibition booth?
In terms of reflect a bit that the BBTF, which is Bali and Beyond Trade Fair, it's the business trade fair. This is where in the natural attractions, and then how to get there in terms of the connectivity, how far it is, how easy it is, the visa issue they're asking. These are the questions, and how definitely to get going. How do we get from here for many people to visit Namibia, especially to operators? And we're suggesting that as Namibia Tourism Board, we are responsible for marketing, so we will do what you call educational tours for the selected tour operators who are the outbound, taking the citizens of Indonesia outside of the country, including travel media, influencers in the travel sector, and to come and see, call it profile the destination Namibia, and be able to come back and then to speak on our behalf in terms of what this country has to offer, and also the safety, the stability of the country. These are aspects they're asking, and we are able to share that it's politically stable, the economy of the country, infrastructure world class, of course, both from the roads, the hotel itself, or infrastructure, the banking infrastructure, and all the infrastructure that enables us for tourism, and we are able to share this. So it's overwhelming in terms of then queries and inquiries from the travel trade here in Bali, Indonesia.
So why is it important for Namibia to participate in global trade shows like this?
It's important, but when you look at your profile, you have the majority of tourists that are maintaining your tourism sector are people that are coming in the country. We don't have a lot of what we call the domestic tourism. Is not at the level that you can sustain our tourism sector. So therefore you need to go outside to participate in trade fairs like this in what I call developing new source markets, increasing the number of tourists that are coming, because as you know the statistics, every 12 tourists that are visiting Namibia, they are able to create one job or support one employment opportunity. So we want to increase the numbers of tourist arrivals, in this case from Indonesia, which is the south east of Asia, because they have a good number of Indonesians traveling outside. 8.9 million of them travel across the globe from Indonesia. So it's good for us to step in that so that they are able to come over here or to travel to Namibia to experience what Namibia has to offer. So it's critical that we create awareness that there's Namibia, but also the attractions to go, and that's easy for them to also travel to Namibia, and that's why we are here. So finally, we also engaging the associations responsible for the tour operators, both again inbound and outbound. So we're talking to them. We will exchange some familiarization visits as well, so that then we are able to invite their tour operators, outbound operators to Namibia, and also the same. We come over when Namibia participates. We can bring tour operators over to Bali or Indonesia, and then they are able also then to meet up with other tour operators, and they can start developing packages for the benefit of both countries.
How would you describe the current tourism relationship between Namibia and Indonesia?
Well, the relationship is good. In Namibia and Windhoek, we have the Indonesian embassy based in Windhoek. We're working together, and even the invite for us to participate came through them. Our Ministry of Environment, Forest and Tourism extended to Namibia Tourism Board. We completely working together. We were even accompanied by an official from the embassy of Indonesia and Namibia. And the relationship will just get stronger because what we have now come and discussed, met people here. So, and we know that there are also few Namibians that are traveling to Bali. Bali is a center of adventure activities in Indonesia, because Bali is economy. The tourism contributes highly, probably about close to 70% of their GDP in terms of the province here. So therefore, it's a hub of tourism activities in Indonesia. So it's good to be here and easy to convince people to travel as well to Namibia and many other countries that they can travel. So the relationship is good. We are building it to become stronger and to be more beneficial, so that the impact of our participation is increased in terms of the numbers of tourists traveling from Indonesia to Namibia, and for them as well from Namibia to Indonesia or to Bali for that matter.
Can you tell us, are there plans to strengthen Namibia's tourism ties with other Southeast Asian nations?
Yes, so now we selected Indonesia because of the numbers of tourists that are coming from here to travel over the world. So we will have to focus on Indonesia. Of course, when you are here in Indonesia, you have the neighbors, Malaysia attending, and other neighboring countries also attending the BBTF. So it's a center to meet those countries in Southeast Asia. So we need to grow this. We need to stabilize in this South market before we even then go into other Southeast Asian nations.
And finally, what is next for Namibia Tourism Board following this event? And are there more international platforms you plan to engage with?
Yes, there are a number of international trade and tourism fairs that we will participate in the remaining months of the financial year. There are roadshows that will participate in, and I mentioned there is China, Japan, there is an event over there coming. Then there is in Europe, there are events coming that we have planned for. So we are led by specific numbers in terms of the potential of those source market in which we go. That particular source market, there is a potential for people to travel to Namibia, and that's how our annual marketing events or participation calendar is designed. So there will be a lot more coming in this financial year and few other financial years that will be followed.